morning, Tribluta here in Thailand. It's 1 Sao here in Thailand, which is Saturday in English. And I hope you're doing well. Francis, welcome back to me and welcome back to my channel. It's another day here in Thailand. Lovely sunny day yesterday. Honestly, yesterday I ran up to the to do some shopping yesterday. So I ran up. I do basic. What's it called? I ran up all the way up to the 20 baht shop, which is about the pound shop, etc., and made my way down. Anyway, so I run up and walk back because I'm carrying on shopping. So I for instance, rather than do a full run, the girls talks about, oh, how hot it is. I'm like, would you shut up? No, I didn't say that, but I was like, we just stop moaning about the bloody weather. I have 6 people moaning about the weather. I'm like, good. So of course, and I get back here, for instance, I went over to the cafe, for instance, like that. To get some water, because we sell these waters, massive waters, for 20 baht. And of course they were, oh, do you not think it's hot today, Peter? I'm like, ah. So obviously, yes, it's, but these guys are used to it. Okay, and maybe it's because it's the rainy season, and normally 9 times out of 10 we've got biblical thunderstorms, but at the moment, etc., it's lovely. So anyway, guys, let's talk about football. You can tell there's not much to talk about football, is there? Yeah, so I was listening to Manchester News. They'd done theirs, and they were moaning because they've got to do 2 podcasts a week, etc. And they would, what do we talk about? Anyway, so they would talk about Txikí, and for instance, so they spent all their time talking about Txikí. And then I talked to I saw the other podcasters. LB was just rambling on for about 2 hours. Don't know what he was talking about. He had a bit of a panel show going on. And for instance, Typical City and LB and JCG went through the 25 man squad and how we're going to get it down. And both very similar, both very similar. And the squads, and they actually came down to what's it called, of the squads, the homegrown and the non-homegrown squads, and both very, very similar. Their feelings and about it. And so let's have a chat about that. But let's do what Typical City do, because there's no transfers, and this again we've got. I don't think LB and that was very strange. I thought we were going to get another friendly. Nothing's been announced. Well, yes, it was a Chorley. We're playing Chorley on the 5th, so I don't think he knew. I think they knew. So, anyway, so for instance, we'll have a chat and about Txikí in the beginning, and about for instance his contributions to Manchester City, and what's it called, and the players, and it's like, and the 13 years and how he's changed Manchester City's the perception by other of Manchester City just paying anything, because we've got others was Robinho and buying him, and for how much money? What's it called? We were the United of what they're doing right now, of buying players, and just because we got the money, we'll buy this player, we'll buy that player, to a point where we will walk away, for instance, if the player's not good. So, for instance, and I think, for instance, I think that's where we've got. So Txikí, not only did he bring in the absolutely amazing players, and I've got a list of them here, some of his top 15 players. Not only did he stayed longer than what he was. He was supposed to stay 10 years. He stayed 13. For instance, Rick, and he's also left it in look like a capable of hands of Hugo Viana. For instance, he's also him, Pep, and Ferran, he was just an absolutely fantastic team, and brought in players, and they were just in sync with each other, for instance, of what they want and about Manchester City and what we want in the future. So no, it's been amazing. What's it called? His tenure at Manchester City, absolutely fantastic, and the players he's brought in has just been ridiculous. Yes, we had the odd boo-boo, in for instance, the guy from Watford, what was his name? For instance, scoring absolutely amazing, and we brought him in, he didn't score a goal, or score the odd goal. For instance, but other than that, for instance, the players he's brought in has been stupendous. It's been absolutely fantastic, and I've only got admiration for him, and I'm thankful for him for what he's done at City. And so for instance, and and how he's left the club, and how he's left the club with such a great reputation of so you're not going to flinch Manchester City just because you've got money, just me, and we're just going to spend it on either and everybody else. And I think that's the admiration for me, for instance, of how he's changed Manchester City's transfer windows, how the fact that we've got amazing players. For instance, in the last transfer window, the latest transfer window, the last top 5 or top 6 to which we brought in, no, that's 5. 6 players we brought in have just been amazing players for little money. To which the media are moaning about how the fact that Man City not spending 100. Well, this is how the media goes. I was listening to Simon Jordan, and he was saying, well, Man City still got to get rid of Jack Grealish, £100 million. Every time that poor guy gets mentioned, he gets the £100 million gets done. It says, and now Man City do not play £100 million for players. To which we're getting criticised by fans how we're not going for the main players, the main targets, we used to go out for the main players. Okay, and this is very, very confusing for me. Well, not confusing, but I just think the whole thing is just pure bullshit. Because at the end of the day, we're not, the players we're bringing in weren't £100 million players, but they become £100 million players. E.g. Rodri, E.d. De Bruyne. And the amount of criticising Man City we got by Phil Thompson and Jeff Sterling. Oh, Jeff, he's not worth it. Or you find out that, for instance, he's turned out to be a Ballon d'Or winner or £100 million or £200 million in player, for instance, and we haven't played. And then the latest transfer window, in 5 days we brought in 10 days we brought in 5 players. Ryan Txikí, for instance, which everybody wanted, and Man City brought him a steal, a price, which is ridiculous. Tiana Reinders, which I think is going to be Man City's player of the season. I think he's an absolutely great player, and the price we paid AC Milan for him. Ryan Ignoret, all the media moaning about his defensive work, but my Christ, we saw his link-up play with Doku was just brilliant in the Club World Cup. And how exciting it is, and how we're really, really delighted to have a proper left back, and Nico Gonzalez. How excited about for him. For instance, Omar Mouche, the goal of the season. How much we paid for him, and so we're not buying £100 million players. But what we're buying is players at a very good place, a very good resale value, but also players who, for instance, who will stay at Man City for for prolong a good age, and so absolutely, and so people are still criticising Man City's transfer window based on what Liverpool and Arsenal are doing, right? And that's bullshit, and we shouldn't be doing that. These are some plastic City fans we've got at the moment who are moaning about that, and how the fact that, for instance, and it clears that the fact that we're not going to be buying any more new players, and everybody's kicking off. But the problem is, then we have an issue right now. We've got too many goddamn players, too many not homegrown, but too many players. And even though I wish people would stop saying this narrative, I'm sick and tired of it. I don't want to work with a big squad, Pep Guardiola says in a media, but he also said in the next part, I was joking. We know he doesn't want to say to other players, I'm sorry, you can't not play today. Because again, we had when we won beat Aston Villa, we had the likes of Ilkay Gundogan, Raheem Sterling, etc., etc. We're not happy because we're not getting picked, and a lot of it kicked off. We had the fact that Cancelo, for instance, being kicked off because he wasn't getting picked. So of course, it is a balancing act. You need players, but you need a big squad. But also, you don't want you're getting problems with injuries. And if you got injuries where we had last season, where we had so many bloody injuries, we had 3 goalkeepers. So and our UEDS players on the bench because we couldn't fill our bench. So you've got this now. The mere fact that the previous season we had 0 problems with injuries and went on to win the treble, or to win the league, and then so it is difficult. And Liverpool didn't have very many injuries last season. So, for instance, and they had a stable squad throughout. You know, Arsenal were moaning and groaning because they probably had about 1 or 2 injuries. Spurs had a lot of injuries. What's it called? So it is this balancing act, etc. But you still need the squad. So, for instance, but with and you need more than one player to, you know, like at the, you know, just in case you lose the striker loss. Like Erling Haaland last season, lost kebab. For instance, the defence went down, midfield went down. Everybody was moaning about the amount of games playing, whatever. And then, of course, and we had our worst season for a long time, for 10 years, but still finished third. You know, still won more games against than Arsenal, and still won more games than Arsenal. And they had a half-decent season because they beat Man City and they beat Real Madrid. They won fuck all, but that's what they did. But they also you've got the likes of what was his name? Hang on, I'm losing my train of thought. But this is the thing. So no, it's just you need a big squad. You need a big okay. But we'll come to the squad in a second. Let me just champion the signings done by Txikí. Okay, let me go through a quick list of 15 players signed by Txikí, and how the amount of money we pay for them and how much they're worth. Even today, you know, how much would they be worth? Okay, I'm not going to go how much they're worth, but I'm just going to tell you. Top 10, it's got to be Kevin De Bruyne. How much we pay for him compared to how much what we got out for him. The length of time also the players stay at Man City is just ridiculous. It really is. But it just shows you, for instance, what a club Man City is, and how it takes care of its players. And yes, it plays its players well, but so other clubs do as well. But Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland, how much money we pay for him? Rodri, your Ballon d'Or winner, how much do we pay for him? And what he has become, the world's best player. Ruben Diaz, Ilkay Gundogan, absolutely fantastic stalwart for Man City, stayed for us, and brilliant. Mr. Whippy, for instance, scored that. Ricky O'Brien, you know, you could go, you can have a CV for each player. Fernandinho, absolutely fantastic. Rodri replaced him, etc. For instance, and how wonderful, what a great player he's turned out to be. And there's rumours that he would come back into Man City train. I would love to see him back at Man City. Bernardo Silva, you know, everybody will. The first thing when you talk about Bernardo Silva, people have been moaning about, he always wants to leave. Well, he hasn't left. You know, maybe he was a bit X, Y, and Z about certain things, but he ends up signing a new contract. Now he's our captain. So, for instance, and for instance, we don't know what's going on the scenes. At the end of the day, for instance, this guy bleeds blue right now. Okay, regardless of what said in the page and he wants to leave, he stayed at Man City, signed a new contract, the captain of Man City, and bleeds blue. And everybody knows that how we didn't clap Liverpool. We did when they did the thing, you know, for instance, this guy bleeds blue. He really does. And a legend is going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't stand using that word legend, but he's Ederson, best goalkeeper, for instance. Maybe not but the guy what way that can play out from the pitch is just superb, just amazing. And how many goals has he played from how he play from the back? He set a standard in the Premier League now. What all the clubs have. He was the one started by playing out from the back. We lost Joe Hart, so to see Joe Hart, but bringing in Ederson, and we can totally understand why we lost Joey Hart. What's it called to bring in Ederson, and why Pep Guardiola was, and everybody's tried to copy it since, and still try to copy it Man City because of whatever Ederson and his capabilities with his ball at his feet. Kyle Walker, fantastic. Now there's a big debate at the moment, etc. Talking about this, hurry up. And it appears a big debate at the moment, etc. About the left, right back. Last few seasons, we never had a problem because we had Kyle Walker. And everybody was talking about, we got Nunes and we don't have Livramento or whatever. And everybody's talking about, we got Nunes or Rico Lewis. But the thing is, right now, is the fact that would you swap Nunes or Rico Lewis for Kyle Walker? Think about that. All these people who slagged off Kyle Walker, blah 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 blah, do the same with Ederson and calling his mum and slagging him off, etc. Right now we got a massive problem in right back, and we're not getting right back because we missed out on Livramento and whether he's going to come or not, who knows. But the fact is we have a massive issue and it's right back. But the fact is, so we probably end up with Rico Lewis or Nunes. But would you have had Kyle Walker there right now this season? Okay, you know, before you start booing Man City and slagging us off, etc., think of that. You know, because now it's how we have a massive issue now. Raheem Sterling, absolutely fantastic player at Man City, for instance. Bitched and whined, thought he was better than what he is, but for instance, he had, I remember the season when he scored plus 30 goals, etc., and the guy could do no wrong. He's gone off to Chelsea, bombed, and his career's gone gnawing down. But at City, Liverpool were laughing and joking because how much they spent money, how much Man City paid for Raheem Sterling. I met him at Manchester Airport, had a photo with him, and what's it called? Yeah, he was. But for instance, at Man City, he was brilliant. Okay, and so I definitely think we got the money back from him. Riyad Mahrez, underestimated. LB's favourite player. You know, wow. City fans, we thought we got a good deal with losing him. Wow, we missed. You know, Johnny Stones. Wow, you know, that goal off the line. For instance, what a great player, a great stalwart. Injuries has hurt him, but what a great player. Leroy Sané. Sani, what's it called? Fantastic City. Went back to Germany. Hasn't kicked on, and where is he now? In Saudi. But at City, what's it called? He was brilliant. Mikel Akanji. Wow. Got him as a steal. Everybody went, Mikel, who? We got mocked by the Germans, only to find out this guy is absolutely 5-star. Absolutely a brilliant player. Wow. So, Mikel Akanji. Josko Guardiola. Guys, how much did we pay for him? We paid a bit of money for him, but the guy's paying back in spades. Not only was in his left back, even though he's a defensive midfielder, he proved himself Man City's best player last season. Got player of the season. He gets better, doesn't get injured, hopefully not. And for instance, it was, you know, we by far a guy well worth the money. So that's 15 players that we could still talk about. I could spend here another hour talking about them. Of just some of the players Txikí brought in. So thank you much, Txikí. Absolutely fantastic. Right, let's pop into the debate on homegrown, non-grown. Now, for instance, it got to a point where we was because there was a certain degree of between JCG and Typical City, Johnny, and they were talking about, for instance, with Benatini, Stones, Aki, O'Reilly, Foden, Bart, Trafford, and Lewis to level B on the under 21s. I was going to talk about this, but I've been babbling on too much. Anyway, so and the non-homegrowns: Edison, Diaz, Kuzinov, Akanji, Guardiola, Ignori, Rodri, Reinders, Nico G, Nunes, Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, Doku, Savinho, Txikí, Marmoush, and Haaland. That was 17 players non-homegrown and 8 players 7 players homegrown, with an option to get a new right back. If we get turn. That was basically with the other players like for instance, what was his name? Other players were going out on loan. So what I've actually put on my website at the moment, I'll tell you, my thumbnail page, Reese, Naipan, Echeverry, etc. For instance, you know. But so we expect that to be the squad: Edison, Diaz, Kuzinov, Akanji, Guardiola, Ignori, Rodgers, Reinders, Nico G, Nunes, Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, Doku, Savinho, Txikí, Marmoush, and Haaland for non-homegrown, with Bettinelli, Stones, Aki, O'Reilly, Foden, Bob, Trafford was good with and Lewis as well for the homegrown. But there's also a place there for a non-homegrown, a homegrown right back if we can get one. But that's that you know, you've got them on. If you want to see how they came to that, you can see both on Typical City and JCG. They both went through it very detailed, and so for instance, but that was basically the question. There was a discussion between the midfield that were packed out, so they're saying it would be like the likes of Kovacic and Gundogan. More like Gundogan was probably the go over Kovacic. So, but we'll Gundogan, for instance, to leave in midfield because we're packed out in midfield. But yeah, so that's what I'm expecting. So sorry, I do apologise, messed up a bit there, yapping too much about signings and etc. The weather. But yeah, but that's my feeling of the squad, what it will be like. So, but it's a pretty damn decent squad. So any person's moaning about the squad, they should be looked twice at the squad and seeing what the player that we've got in. We're okay striker wise. We've got plenty of wingers. We've midfield. We're packed out at the moment, etc. And defenders. I was like, again, it all depends on fitnesses. It all depends on performances. Again, Phil Foden and whether they're coming back. But we do have options, okay, and unfortunately we are constricted by the amount of players we can bring in, but that's a damn decent squad going into 2025, 26. So we've got to be more confident than what we are. Don't give a flying of whatever Liverpool are doing and Arsenal and Chelsea, okay. They're always going to be there in congestion with us, but I think Man City have got a damn decent squad. It's all about transitions and how we're going to handle that. And but I'm very, very confident of the new season, and so should you be as well. Guys, I'm gonna love you and leave it. True Blue Tie from Thailand. Like and subscribe. Tell me what you're thinking. If you agree with me, who's your favourite signing for Txikí? For Txikí, you've got to be being keen. Kevin and Kevin, Fernandinho, Rodri. For me, my favourite players at the moment is Rodri. So I was going because the man is not he's good here and here. Anyway, but as well as here. But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave you. True Blue Tie from Thailand. Take care. Have a good day.